That's my Pink Panther ringtone. You can ignore it. It's just totally fine. I don't want to talk to anybody. Well, I always know it's my phone. That was the best buck I ever spent. Welcome to another episode of The Industry Dish. My name is MaryAnne Gilmartin, founder and CEO of MAG Partners. I became a developer through pure serendipity. It was not on my bingo card. I was an urban fellow selected to go into city government and try public service before heading off to the private sector, and I won a fellowship and picked the Public Development Corporation. And it was there that I realized I had real estate in my veins. Given a giant swath of New York City, knowing absolutely nothing and realizing just how magnificent it was, a profession and a craft. And that has been my field, my passion, and my great professional joy ever since. So we are making the elegant chicken nugget. Chicken Milanese. I will make this beautiful breaded chicken cutlet, and then I will toss a delicious salad of endive and watercress and tomato with some delicious lemon vinaigrette. It's a go-to dish for me, and it's easy peasy to make. For a very long time, I've thought about cooking as the great unifier in a family. Kitchens are those things too, in the sense that it brings people together. It really is the heart of a household. There are so many decisions that go into picking appliances. First and foremost, New York City is all electric now. So we've pivoted completely in the design of our kitchens. We just finished a passive house in West Chelsea, and with passive house, you need ultra efficient appliances in order to qualify for the passive house designation. So what's the beauty of Bosch is that they score really high on energy efficiency. They're beautiful, high performance, and folks will walk into the kitchen and say, wow, this is a Bosch kitchen. It's just been a great pleasure to put those into our 3 buildings in Manhattan. In a city like New York, to do anything great, you need to tackle complexity. And I think that you have to be hardwired to know that at the end of the day, things are not going to get wrapped up in a nice little bow. So I'd say knowing that you're going to be dealing with complexity in the work is super important, because then you're not particularly surprised. It really does require stamina, patience, but at the same time, an incredible sense of urgency. So in thinking about Barclays Center, Atlantic Yards, Pacific Park, Brooklyn, many people today recognize that the project has struggled to fulfill its full commitment of affordable housing. There were some structural flaws with respect to the business transaction that made it very difficult for it to come out successfully. There was no cap on the land cost associated with the developer's underlying basis. And so when you take on infrastructure like we did at that project, you have no ability to predict your costs. It's the iceberg, it's the 80% you don't see, not the 20% you do. I might say that the subway entrance we renovated at Barclays was pro forma to cost approximately $7 million when we started the transaction. By the time we finished, it was $72 million to renovate a subway station. We did not build a brand new subway at the corner of Flatbush and Atlantic Avenues. We opened up a dormant subway station. But what we did in doing that was to touch the platforms, the columns, the tunnels, all of which were deteriorating. So the MTA's posture is, if you touch it, you own it. And so we found ourselves deep in the renovation and restoration of an entire complex network of subways. And that is the example of something that how could you possibly have predicted it? How can you manage that kind of a cost overrun? And how can you make it pencil when you have so many affordable units? Having toiled over it for a decade, I learned a lot of lessons that are not to be forgotten. The state of the market in New York City today in multifamily ground-up construction is the story of undersupply, over demand, a vibrant city where young people are eager to live here, and we have a housing crisis. If you find a way to build a brand new building in a great neighborhood, you will be very successful in the lease up and the rents inside of that building. You know, in New York, we build according to a tax program which provides for a level of affordability that's somewhere between 25 and 30%. So very proud of the fact that on 50th and 2nd Avenue, for example, where Anagram is, we have built affordable housing on the Upper East Side, brand new luxurious affordable housing built to the same standard as the luxury housing that you find in the market rate units. And we did that in West Chelsea as well with Ruby and with Mabel. The difficulty in New York is finding the sites, penciling out the economics, and then the complexity of building in a dense urban environment under grueling conditions, whether it's a moratorium near the UN during UN week, or the hustle and bustle of everyday living. On 28th Street, for example, FIT was under construction. There was a condo developer building, and we were building all at the same time, and the street was impassable. Unpredictability of construction costs, complexity of building in New York City, difficulty in finding sites, and then making those sites pencil out. That is the challenge. The glory of it all is that if you build it, they will come, and you will be rewarded for all of your toiling. It is very hard to get to the finish line, but it is perhaps some of the highest quality net operating income a developer could ever ask for, because this is a city of renters. Close to 70% of New Yorkers rent, and so you would have to work very hard to create an oversupply of rental housing in our city. That is the good news and the bad news, as we know. I say follow the food and the culture. That is often where people want to live. We can see enormous opportunity in Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. I think the distinguishing factor in MAG Partners is that we're really good with quirky. If you build an arena at the confluence of 6 of the most discerning neighborhoods in all of New York City, you learn that there's no issue too small for the community themselves, that you're building effectively under a microscope, and that you need to be prepared to answer to all of the different actions you undertake as a developer. And because we're comfortable with that, I think that we do very well with communities, landowners, and property owners that are very, very interested in knowing who the counterparty is, how responsible and responsible they be in building, and making sure that the execution is flawless. And so I think that's what we're known for. We're like a little engine that could, kind of punching above our weight, not looking to do small infill lots in the far reaches of New York City, but actually to build in the dense urban environment and to build beauty and to prove that you can build beauty and still create value. Not just for the investors and the partners, but the communities in which we build. We are a diverse company. We fight all the time about whether there are any other women-founded and owned ground-up development companies in New York City that aren't part of family dynasties. I am a certified MWBE in both New York City and New York State, and based on how difficult it was to get that certification, it tells me that there aren't many of us. So I'm very proud of it. I don't know where I got the audacity to think that I could do it. We've been at it since 2018 and very proud of the fact that we've built about 1,000 units of housing in Manhattan. So now what I'm doing here is I'm taking these delicious cutlets with the gorgeous breadcrumbs, and I am going to cook them about 3 minutes on each side. And that's the foundation upon which I will then put a beautiful, colorful, dressed salad. What's next in New York City is a difficult thing to answer. We're very excited about what the future holds. Notwithstanding all the headline news, all the uncertainty in the economy, New York City is thriving. Even in the office market, you know, it's having its moment. And I think that's going to continue so long as the city stays safe. Now this is coming along nicely. You could tell by the smell is so good. So after I cook these, I'm going to put them over here so they can drain a little bit. I'm gonna get the salad that I made. It's just lovely, beautiful in color. And so what I'm gonna be doing here is dressing the salad. So not to make the development profession all important, it's, to me, very interesting to think about in the life of a city what the built environment means. And it's not just in New York, but if you go to Paris, London, Madrid, you know, we in America are a country of cities. There are more people living in cities than ever before in the history of the world. Cities are engines of economic growth, of cultural exchange, and of community building. So if you think about what we do, we put buildings in the skyline, we bring people into buildings at the ground plane. This is all in the making of a life of a city. So I think our contributions are mighty, and that is why it needs to be done responsibly. I really do think you have to build beauty. For example, I would go up the escalator at Barclays Center, behold this masterful building, and look out the window and see the Party City sign of Atlantic Center across the street, which we also built. And I would say that therein is the living example of value creation the beautiful way and value creation the commoditized way. It is a very successful mall. It would never be considered a beautiful mall or a place that enhances the ground plane. And so by doing projects like that in the company, there was a recognition that building beauty, everlasting beauty is really important, and you get rewarded for it in terms of the economic returns. Salad dressing and sauce gal. This is really good virgin olive oil, lemon, sometimes simplicity is the answer. Something as simple as this, so tasty. Obviously the quality of the greens, which I might say that in the North Fork of Long Island, you get amazing produce. And when you go to the farm stands, the only thing available is what's actually grown at the time that you're buying it. And so everything is sourced locally, and it's just a tremendous bounty for the kitchen and the dining room table. So I'm now going to take this and I'm going to dress the salad. In 1989, being a real estate developer was one step above a car salesman. It's just not something everybody wanted to do. And over the years, it's become in vogue. That's very sweet, but the only way to be a real estate developer is actually build something. You learn it in action. I just had the great fortune of hitting a cycle where I built a lot of things. In the life of a developer, if you build one really great building, I think you should be fortunate, because it takes a very long time to do anything of scale in a city like New York. Building the New York Times headquarters, building New York by Geary, having a small part in building Barclays Center and Atlantic Yards, all that just means that I can give back and teach others. There's a skill set that you can develop in school, but then there's the doing of it. And so I encourage young people to get out there and to be involved in transactions and deal flow where you can actually get your hands dirty, literally. Try to get something built. And once you do that, no one can ever take that away from you. Yum, beautiful tomatoes, all different colors. All right, so now we have this amazing salad. It's got gorgeous color. It can be on the bottom or on the top, but I think that the proper way to do it is to put the greens on top. So nice. So in terms of what's next for MAG Partners, we have a tremendous pipeline of opportunity. And so capital formation is back. The credit party is almost over. And so we are in discussions with strategic capital to really unleash the company. We can scale the organization, we can deliver housing, and we can make a great contribution to our city. And so that is the work of the day.